Have you ever wanted your own podcast? Well, now you can. With Anchor, you can make your podcast dreams come true. It's free and easy to use. Anchor will allow you to edit your podcast however you like. It will also distribute your podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money with no minimum listenership. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm to get started. Or download the free Anchor app. Good morning, Hatters. This is the Irish Mad Hatter. We're going to discuss some pretty interesting new developments today. So let me dive into the developments, and then we're also going to talk about 3 good restaurants when Disney reopens, Disney World reopens. To if you have an allergy problem, good places to go for those who have allergies. But let me dive into some of the news that came out yesterday. Some states are reopening. Georgia and South Carolina have already started their reopening phases. What came out, though, yesterday was Forbes and I think 2 other companies came out and stated that all Disney, won't reopen until 2021. I have a problem with that because that is just asinine, to be honest with you. It won't work. Disney, yes, they furloughed all their employees. Well, at least 100,000 of their employees. Yeah, they are saving $500 million now. But they're still losing the $40 million a day keeping the parks closed. Florida hotels around Disney have asked for a reopening phase a little bit quicker because hotels around here are not going to make it 3 more months. They're not even going to make it the full year if they stay closed. So where am I going with this? I don't think that Disney is going to hold out till 2021. Reason behind this is money. Florida's economy is based, well, Central Florida at least, is based off their theme parks. Not so much Universal and SeaWorld, but most of their tourism is through Disney. With this closure, if they were to, let's say, hypothetically, close until 2021, what will happen? Disney would keep on losing their $40 million a month. The hotels that surround Disney that are not the big name brands, like the Marriott or the Hilton or Days Inn and stuff like that, the ones who are little won't make it through the year. They will have to shut down. Unfortunately, that does not bode well for Florida small businesses, and it doesn't bode well for Florida in general. Florida is losing money because there's no tourism right now. Disney needs to reopen. Maybe not as early as May, but maybe mid-June, end of June. If you could get us through the end of, say, the end of June and reopen in July, give us that extra, what? Well, we're in mid-April right now. We're at the end of April because now we have 9 days left of April. So give us that 2.5 months of, yes, I understand it's 2.5 more months of quarantine. I cannot stand it, but I'm willing to accept it if it means I can go back to work. Now, I've been unemployed before. I've had troubles finding work before. And I've stayed home, and I never had a problem. Because I will be honest with you, I've been lazy a lot in my life. But now that I'm home, quarantined every day, and not able to go to Disney, Universal, to a beach, or even just go out and see some of the friends, it really takes a toll, and it's making me miss work. And I'm the type of person who doesn't, like, I enjoy working for Disney and SeaWorld. I do. I won't lie. But I will say, I'm the type of guy in the past who's never really, who's had a job but never really enjoyed going to work. Now I miss it because once this quarantine is over and we are allowed to go back to somewhat of normalcy, I'm going to try as hard as I can not to stay in my house. That will save me on electric. That will save me on, a bunch of other bills. And I think that's the problem, because even, like, as I'm telling you about these hotels and restaurants and everything are all struggling, the people are also struggling. My wife goes to work every day. She works at Taco Bell at the moment until Disney reopens. Now, it upsets me when I hear on the TV, yes, I appreciate every single one of the first responders, nurses and doctors and everything. But when they go into the other subjects of, like, restaurant people or, grocery stores. Yeah, that was it. The grocery people, they're putting their lives on the line. But you never mention the fast food industry. My wife is still out there working with a chance of getting the virus, if not had it already, because we were sick back in January. And we do think that was the coronavirus because we were sick for 2 weeks. She was sick and then I got sick. And it took about a full month for both of us to recover, basically, because she had the 2 weeks and then I had another 2 weeks. So we took care of each other. Now, I get that she's working with people and everything, and she hasn't gotten sick, and neither have I. But maybe we're immune. We don't know anything about this virus. And that's the thing, is there still could be a chance that my wife can still get it again if she had not already had it. And they don't acknowledge these fast food restaurants peoples. Because, yes, they are still working too. Why are they not mentioning them? Why is it that we hear about grocery stores only, as they're up there with the nurses and doctors. I'm sorry, but the nurses and doctors and first responders are in a league of their own. The grocery store people should be put in the same lump group as fast food and the restaurant people, and the DoorDash people, and the Ubers and stuff, because they're still working too. So why do I bring this all up? And the thing about this is why I bring it up is if Disney does not reopen in California or in Florida, the economy is going to go down. And this is why I say Anaheim, yes, it's got baseball. The Los Angeles Angels, it's got Disneyland, it's got hotels and stuff. But if you think about it, and I've said this to other people, when I go to California, I don't say I'm going to California. I say I'm going to Disneyland. Why? Because it's Disneyland and then everything around it. Because I could care less about the rest of California. Because for anybody who's already been to California and went to the real Hollywood, have all come back to you and told me and told others that it smells, it's disgusting, it's dirty. They don't keep their state clean. They have too many homeless people. But if you go to Disneyland, you don't see any of that. Why? Because Disney, basically, if you want to get technical, I know it's not true, but this is how I feel. The city of Anaheim is just Disney. They should just put on the map on California, get rid of the name Anaheim and just change it to Disney. Because Disney has so much pull in that city itself. There are barely any homeless people. When my wife and I was there for our honeymoon, we saw maybe 2 homeless people in the entire trip, in the entire area. I have seen YouTubers who recently just walked around the other day, just walked around the entire section of Disneyland that you're allowed to walk upon. That's the outside, and there you go. There was no people homeless. Why? Disney has so much pull, including here in Orange County, Florida. They have so much pull. And that's why they have their own police, fire people, doctors, nurses. They have their own everything. If the country was to keep Disney closed, Disney can't do the influencing that it has on the certain cities that it controls. So you might see more people on the streets in Disneyland. You might see more people on the streets at Disney World. The Florida Central economy will go down. Jacksonville is known for their beaches, Duval, and football. Miami is known for the tourism, beaches, nightclubs, restaurants. Tampa is known for also their beaches, tourism, and sports. Not much of the Tampa Bay Rays, but their Buccaneers and the baseball that comes every spring. Right now, there are no tourists. Right now, those cities are not making money. They're being bailed out. That money will run out eventually. I think the country does need to reopen. I think it needs to reopen slowly. We're not going to get back to normalcy this year. We will be back to normal next year. But I don't think keeping Disney closed for a full year is the right decision to go. And I will tell you this, Shanghai has already started their reopening phase. They actually have been reopening since March, but they're working very, very slowly. Only their hotels and restaurants and shopping is opening. Somewhere down the line, we're going to hear, supposedly next month, they're supposed to be reopening the park. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true yet, but like I said, Disney is the name brand. But the country of China get to make the decision to reopen it because China really owns most of the Disney there. So they get to decide if they're going to reopen or not. Now, here are some of the things China has made a statement about. That they were thinking about required to wear masks. Now, in their culture, it's acceptable. It's normal for them. They also have a QR code where if it's green, you're accepted to go into the park. If it's not green, you will be sent away because that means you are sick. That's basically their way of, I guess, temperature checking. And they were going to get rid of, as what I heard from also here in America, they're going to get rid of the pre-show queues, fireworks, parades, anything that has to do with large gatherings. And I heard that will be here when they open the American parks. Now here's the problem. California, maybe not as bad, but here in Florida, if we were to reopen Disney and they require us to wear masks in the month of, say, July, when it hits 100 degrees or more here, wearing those masks are going to be very difficult to breathe in because the humidity here makes it harder to breathe. I know from firsthand when I started working at Disney that it affected my work in the beginning when I started working for them. That I would have to rehydrate every maybe 20 minutes. So it's very hard to breathe. So I don't know how they're going to work the mask system here, but I know that they will be getting rid of the fingerprints. They were talking about the temperature checks, even if it means through the brain scan thermometer or using drones, which they are using over in Australia, where they can do a thermoscan from a far distance, and they can check heart rate and all that stuff using the drones. We don't know about how that's going to work out. Like I said, also parades, fireworks, indoor shows, anything that has to involve large crowds, waiting in lines will be basically canceled or altered. With the virtual queue, that's where they're thinking about going, which is you'll log on to the app and you will it's like using fast passes, but you'll be in a virtual queue instead. So they will tell you, okay, you can come back at this time to ride the ride because they're only going to allow a certain amount of people on at a time so that there is not too many people next to each other. And this is why I believe that they need to reopen this year and not wait till next year. Because if they open up say July or August, or even June from what we're hearing, but my guess is we'll go say July. Open up this year, because that way we can get this started, which allows them to prepare for next year. Because if we start now, we can have this stuff in place. That way we can get things back to normalcy by next year. If they were to say, hey, we're not open till next year, they would have to put the stuff that I had just mentioned into effect first in next year, and then it wouldn't even become normalcy until the end of next year. So now Disney understands they're not going to make a profit, probably not for the next 3 to 5 years. Again, people will probably be still scared to go to parks, which means Disney will have less crowds. But that also means that every time that Disney had already made a new increase in tickets, supposedly here's one of the rumors that they were talking about. Keeping the increased tickets, but half park. So 50% population allowed in, and 50% of guests in compared to the 100%, and but keep them at a higher ticket price for those who could pay for it that are not annual pass holders, like myself. So I don't know where this is going to happen, but I do think that Disney will reopen this year. So don't listen to any kind of crap that comes from these news crews and these news reports and everything, unless you hear it from Disney's Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, Josh from Walt Disney World, president. If you don't hear from one of those people, then don't listen or believe it. I get my information from actual sources of people who are still in the park at this moment, who still work because they have to. Meaning the security guards. I still have people who I speak to, so I know what's going on from the inside. So don't accept anything unless you hear it from the mouse. That's all you need to know. I do think we're going to open up this year. I think it's going to be open in July. Everyone says that they're taking reservations in June 1st, which is 100% true. We will be taking reservations on June 1st at Walt Disney and I believe Disneyland. But I doubt we will open until July, because they're going to have to scrub the park. They're going to have to get those rides up and running. So I doubt that the park will be open until at least July or end of June. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to come back, because we're now going to talk about when the parks do reopen. For any of you who have allergies, I'm going to tell you 3 best places to go to eat with an allergy problem. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Life's most important memories are made together. Proms, graduations, weddings, baby showers, funerals. Yet, we find ourselves in a time where staying healthy means staying at a distance. Novant Health would like to thank you for doing your part to help flatten the curve of the coronavirus by staying home and missing out on important milestones. By staying home and social distancing, you're ensuring better care for our community. Without these sacrifices, we would not be able to treat everyone who would be affected by this virus. By social distancing now, you are ensuring that there will be more of life's cherished memories to make later. we can't wait to celebrate them with you. For our healthcare team members and service providers who cannot stay home for the safety of our public, we are shoulder to shoulder with you on the front lines every day. There aren't words to thank you for your daily commitment to service and sacrifice for others. For everyone at home, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from our hospital homes to yours. By staying home, you're doing your part to save lives. We couldn't do our jobs without you.
Think of the happiest things. It's the same as having wings. To the stars beyond the blue, there's a Neverland waiting for you. When you leave the world behind, you can fly. You can fly. You can fly.
Welcome back, guys. So let's dive into the best places to go when you have allergies, because there are a lot of people who do have allergies, and they don't really have a lot of places, quick service wise, in Disney, because there's a lot of people who have gluten problems and everything. But I will dive into it right now. Let's start with number 3, Pinocchio's Village House. I have been here. I have gone here, and I've mentioned that it's one of the best places to go if you just want a quick something to eat. But they also have good, what is it? It's basically pizza, and it's also chicken cutlet with spaghetti. I have said that it's really good. Trust me, the pizza I have never had. It's definitely not better than New York's. So if you guys are looking for that, don't put your hopes into it. It's just a regular pizza that Disney makes, and it's pizza. Let's just say that, but it's just not New York pizza. You get a pepperoni one or a cheese one, or I think just a white, plain white, for all gluten-free crusts. They don't have a meat lovers yet, but they're talking about it. Penny pasta with marinara sauce is good, because it's off of the plant-based menu. So that's good for anybody who, it's right next to Small World, so that's definitely good. The Colombian Harbor House. Now, I have not been here, but it is located in the heart of Liberty Square. It's got New England inspired flavors, because it is, supposed to be in the heart of Liberty Square, which is based off of, 1772. So they have, gluten-free they got some gluten-free options like the grilled salmon, the chicken breast nuggets, which are all gluten-free. And I believe they're also part of the new, meatless, plant-based food. And then they got the salad and a couple other stuff. I heard their plant-based option is the Lighthouse sandwich now, which is a sandwich with hummus with tomato, and broccoli slaw, served on a multi-grain bread. And since it is also plant-based, it's free from meat, fish, eggs, dairy, and honey. Now, number 1, Petco Bill Tall Tale Inn Cafe. I have been here. This has been on my episode, the last episode of the night before the day that they closed Disney. So I put this on there. It is a Mexican. It's Mexican food. It's good. It's tacos and everything. Most there's stuff like if you're avoiding gluten, egg, milk, soy, nuts, or fish, their rice bowl is delicious. I haven't had the rice bowl, so I wouldn't know. You also have the options of substituting the chicken, pork for vegetables. The Southwest chicken or pork salad, as I said, you could change that again. They also have the jerk chicken lettuce wraps and the plant-based Southwest burger. Mostly when I go there, I get the fajita platter. I get that to me is the best option there for your buck. I think it's only like $10, but you get like 3 tacos, and then you get to put whatever you want on it. So it's good for your buck if you're into something like that. Tip allergy. While Petco Bill is very accommodating to allergies and has probably the most extensive allergy menu of any quick service in the Magic Kingdom, I would use caution when using the topping bars. This, of course, is up to you and your comfort level, but depending on the severity of your allergy, there is a high level of cross-contamination that can occur. So if you want to load up on pico de gallo or salsa, I'm sure a cast member would be happier to get you a fresh cut from the back. So just ask for that if you're worried. So that's one of the best places to go. The top 3 places for allergies in the Magic Kingdom. I mostly go to Pinocchios, Pesco Bills, Starlight Cafe. Yeah, those 3 I mostly go to, because they're cheap, but they also have good quality, especially if you're like me and my wife. We're always on the go, always trying to, get something quick, eat it quick. We'll either eat before the parade or after the parade, but we'll mostly go to those because we're the type of people who like to keep on going on rides, maybe sometimes multiple times. So that's some places that you can go, and I think a lot of people would enjoy that. Now, there are a couple of table service in Magic Kingdom. If you're not into the whole, eating on the go, unfortunately, at this moment, Disney is just becoming, before the pandemic happened, they were really just switching over to more allergy options. So let's go to number 3, the Jungle Navigation Co. Ltd. Skipper's Cantina. That's located in the Adventureland. As I said, I haven't been to this. This is influenced from African, Asian, and Latin flavors. So it is good. For those notable dishes, there are Falls Family Falafel. That is an appetizer, is perfect for the whole family. It's to share. It's got chickpea balls. It's a little fried chickpea ball served with homemade. Oh my God! I'm just gonna say hummus because I can't say that. And toasted pumpkin seeds. The dish is free from gluten, milk, eggs, fish, and tree nuts. Also, Perkins Thai noodles is also, I heard, is a good option. So is the Panana Kani's Congo Lime Delight. That sounds delicious, and it looks like it's a dessert. It's if you didn't already load up on a Dole Whip, you can grab this lime panna cotta. I guess that's how you say it. Serve with a mango lime sherbet, fresh fruit, and a Brazil nut cookie. It is gluten, dairy, fish, and peanut free. The second option would be Liberty Tree Tavern. Now, I haven't been here, but this is more of Thanksgiving. If you are very big on Thanksgiving, this place is somewhat of the best place to go for you because it is a Thanksgiving feel. It's a traditional American cooking. I did want to go here on Thanksgiving, but something had happened, so I eventually just cooked at home, which ended up being the better option anyway, only because I realized that, football was on and I didn't want to miss any of the football games. So I decided to take a day off at Disney for Thanksgiving. So it was pretty, maybe one of these days I'll go if I got the money, but it probably more likely I'm just going to stick with my quick serve, like I said. But, they got the revolutionary meatloaf, which is, meatloaf with mashed potatoes, roasted root vegetables, and smothered on mushroom gravy. That to me, I would not eat. Only because of the mushroom gravy. I probably would ask without it. But those vegetables and mashed potatoes do sound fine. The dish is also safe from all the allergic to gluten, eggs, fish, peanuts, and tree nuts. And it's also 100% vegan. You got the colonial salad, which is basically just a salad. I'm not even going to go into that. You basically can subject yourself. They also have your main entry would be the Patriots platter, which includes roasted turkey breast, pot roast, and oven roasted pork. This is free from all the same allergens except soy. So that's not bad. Fun fact, though, Liberty Tree Tavern shares a kitchen with its neighbor restaurant, the Diamond Horseshoe. On more than one occasion, I have been offered. This is the writer who told the fun fact. They said that they had an allergy-friendly option at the Diamond Horseshoe that were brought over from Liberty Tree Tavern that includes mashed potatoes, their salad dressing, and even their dairy-free dessert option, which is apple caramel. Jeez, I'm having a hard time talking today. Number one, the Plaza. I did not go to the Plaza in Disney World. I haven't, but I've been to the one in Disneyland, the Plaza Inn, which was a great experience over there at Disneyland, which we also plan on doing again. I know our trip's in October, but if Disney does not reopen at all this year, we might be pushing our trip to January. That's when Megan gets some time off from work, paid, and that will be also when I would get, depending upon if I go back to work, because we don't know when we go back to work, but I can put in my time for those, and I would get paid for it. So, because I do have some days racked up. So that works out. So the Plaza Inn... the Plaza, the Plaza Inn is Disneyland. That they had to drop the inn part for some reason. I don't know why. The Mickey Waffles. Everyone's favorite, Mickey Waffles. Who doesn't like them? They are allergy friendly. I actually get the Mickey Waffles here, in my house because they sell them in the stores down here. So, I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they are the Mickey Waffles. They are definitely gluten-free, dairy, eggs, and all that other stuff. They're great. They're delicious. The Plaza Breakfast Plate, which is a new plant-based option. They are two Beyond sausages served over eggs with a side of breakfast potatoes. Since this is a vegan option, the eggs are made with a product called Just Egg, EGG, all capitalized. So this dish is free from dairy, gluten, and, eggs. If you're looking for lunch, the Plaza Burger, that's on the allergen. That's also plant-based. Like I said, Disney had decided to go plant-based not 100%, but they were working their way to it before they closed. I believe that it's going to be a little bit longer before we see any more plant-based menu items because of the pandemic and everything. So that is definitely something to look into if you're ever taking a trip. Ask around, see what they have. But those are just the top 3 from table serve and also the quick serve. So, in other news, I have a couple other things I have on my agenda today. I did this episode in different sections of days, so this is not all one day. I know in the beginning I put it as the date and the day, but this is all in different days. Like today, this is Saturday's part. So what I found out, and this is why I'm moving my show to Saturdays, is because I'm giving myself a whole week to get new material compared to getting my show in on a Wednesday and not having everything that's going to be for the rest of the week. So that's why I'm moving it to Saturday, so that everyone can be able to get all the most recent updated stuff. Like Tokyo Disney Shopping has gone to a soft reopening in Tokyo. That was weird. My door just closed on me. Dang you, Haunted Mansion ghost! Anywho, they have done a soft reopening. They are looking at trying to reopen sometime next month. So is Shanghai. Shanghai has started this week and next week. I believe they are going to be testing out the parade route, which is they're going to see if they can do the parades and fireworks while also social distancing the crowd. So they also had put down on the floor some basically signs. It is in English. It is also in Chinese. The words are basically it's 6 feet apart. So they're going to test it out and see if it works, because they are planning on reopening mid-May, end of May. So Disney is going to test it out. Now, as I said, Tokyo and China are not owned officially 100% by Disney. So China and Japan make their own decisions on reopening. And what I realized is, if it's successful, expect Bob Iger and Josh D'Amore and Bob Chapek to reopen Disney in the same way that Japan and Tokyo are doing. Now, here's what I think. Like I said in the beginning, Disney had a rumor that they're going to open in 2021. It's not. Trust me, it's going to open up earlier. But more likely, Downtown Disney and Disney Springs are going to open up first. The shopping, that's going to open up first. Then they'll progress to a theme park, which is probably just going to open up Magic Kingdom, and over at Disneyland, they're just going to open up Disneyland Park. Or they might just open up DCA, because that's got more space than Disneyland Park itself, because Disneyland Park's smaller. I don't know what Disneyland's plan is, but I know Disney World is going to open supposedly anytime after June 14th. That's the strict date that the governor and Disney wants, after June 14th. So we're looking at possibly having Disney reopen by July, really. that's why I'm thinking my trip might have to get pushed back to January. I know I wanted to go for Halloween, but if they're going to do the soft openings, there's not going to be any Halloween parties. So I'm going to wait a little bit before I decide to change it. That way I can, do some information and some tracking of how it, what would be the best. So Tokyo and Japan are planning on, Tokyo and Shanghai are planning on reopening soon. In movie news, Doctor Strange, Thor, and Spider-Man all have new dates. Thor, Love and Thunder was moved up. It was supposed to come out on February 18th, 2022. It is now coming out on February 11th, 2022. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was supposed to debut on March 25th, Oh, no, that's when it will debut now. It was originally supposed to open up on November 5th, 2021, and now it's going to go back to March 25th, 2022. And what's taking over the November 5th, 2021 spot is Spider-Man 3. It's untitled. We don't know what it's going to be, but we know Sony and Disney are going to be making the movie. It was originally supposed to come out on July 16th, 2021, but now that is taking over the original Thor spot because they kept on moving Thor up. So there's some news coming. And for the final note today, if you would like some nice Disney, basically, wallpaper for your computer or for your phone, Disney's PhotoPass released free Happily Ever After mobile and desktop wallpaper available through June 8th. You can download the images by logging onto the Walt Disney World website and clicking My Photos under the My Disney Experience drop-down option. And as I said, this will be available till June 8th. I'd like to thank everyone for listening today, and I hope everyone is safe. For all those who I might have said some things about, I didn't mean anything I said. I was, how do I say it? Basically like everyone else. We're all losing our minds, and I just want things to get back to normal. So just hang on, because we're not going to be doing this forever. I'll tell you that. So just stay safe, stay magical, and I love you 3000.
I want to be like you. I want to walk like you, talk like you too. You see it's true. And it's like me. And life is you. More